All right, YouTube, welcome back. Heathen Outdoors, Season 2, Volume 5. We're here. We made it out to the bush. The more and more we come out here, the more and more I'm realizing that we're having to get out here a little earlier if we want to establish a spot. A lot of the roll-up spots are already taken. That's unfortunate. But maybe it's a sign, right? Because what we're having to do now is pull over on the side of the road or just on a little inlet from the main fire road, gather our gear and hike in, which is pretty cool. A lot of people do it. You can tell people have already been there because you've already seen like the pre-built fire pits and stuff. So we were able to find a spot, roll in. I do have some gear with me. It's going to take a couple trips. We're a little less than a quarter mile in, kind of behind some trees tucked in over there, so that's kind of cool. We do have some new gear to test out. We will be testing out the One Tigris Coco Nest hot tent. It is going to be my first hot tent that actually has tent poles instead of... Gunner's taking a leak. It's going to be my first hot tent that actually has standalone poles. All my other hot tents have had one pole or a frame in which a lot of stakes were staked out. This one I'm not going to need as many stakes because it has tent poles. I'm really excited to try it. Only have Gunner with me today because the Coco Nest is a smaller tent and it's a really unique design. It's a circular dome tent with a built-in inner mesh tent. So it's kind of cool. Once I get it up, I'll show you guys what it looks like, walk you through. Gunner, you need to stop breathing into YouTube, okay? I'm trying to talk to YouTube, you need to stop. Gonna unload the car. We got, I don't know, a couple hundred yards to walk in, walk out. Probably 1, 2. I did bring some wood for the hot tent, so that's gonna be a trip alone. Volume 5 kicking off. We're gonna cook some steaks tonight. I'll go through the gear list, ensure that you guys know what we're using, and got a little treat for you. We got ourselves a drone, so we're gonna do some footage with the drone too. So this volume is gonna be really fun. Stay with us. All right, YouTube, here we are. One Tigris Coco Nest. You can see why they call it the Coco Nest, because it looks like half a coconut. It's a dome-style tent, like I said. It has 3 tent poles that go inside those sleeves. It's circular, round. It does come with built-in ready drawstrings with a ring loop in it, so you can guide out if you're in heavy winds or extreme weather. We're gonna be okay tonight. It's not supposed to be windy at all, so I'm not too worried about it. I just staked out 4 corners, as you can see down here. Try to get these in the ground a little more. I'm trying out those brand new aluminum pegs, really light, have a loop hook side so it can really dig into the ground. Unfortunately, since they are light aluminum, they're very prone to bend, and I already bent that one. Inside of the Coco Nest, I already have the hot stove hooked up. Normally you would stake out the chimney to the ground. I just have it truckers hitched over to the tree, and that's just so it can kind of be secure. One big zip door, and then again that inner tent, as you can see, that's kind of clipped inside. You can easily unclip that and take that inner tent out and use this basically as a shell. That way it kind of opens up some area, which we might experiment with, but tonight I really wanted to try the inner tent with Gunner. That would probably be the downfall to this tent, is the inside this inner tent. As you can see, from about here to the back, it's about 3 feet. And then it's like slanted, like an octagon, as you can see. So as tall as I am, I'm about 5'10". I'm going to be sleeping heavily on this side towards the stove, and Gunner's going to be in the back. That's going to be perfectly fine. I've laid down on this before. I set it up on my garage just so I can see what it looked like. But I think for optimal purposes, especially because it's a hot tent, you're probably best taking that inner tent out and using this just as a shell. But without further ado, I have another trip to make to the car to grab some gear. We're going to also set up the tarp tonight, which I'll talk about when we return. Until then, One Tigris Coco Nest hot tent. All right, YouTube, so here's camp. I know a lot of you guys are thinking, I get the question all the time, Nick, why do you bring a tarp if you bring a tent? The truth is, you guys, the tarp is one of the most versatile pieces of equipment you can have. It can be a shelter, it can be a ground mat, you can turn that into a sleep system, it can protect you from the elements like rain, snow, high winds. It's really light and it packs down really small. Now, ideally, I would opt to lose all my tents and just use a tarp. But as you guys know, I never travel alone. I usually typically have 1 or 2 dogs with me. Gunner, I can probably trust in the tarp because I've done it before. But if I have Maddie with me, Maddie's the type of dog that in the middle of the night, if he hears something in the bush, he's going to get up and go check it out. Not that I'm scared. I just don't want to lose him in the bush with his curiosity. And that's real talk. So therefore, when I camp with him, I typically will have a tent. But I also like to set up my tarps as well, because as you can see, outside of the tent, it's also a place to hang out. I have my chair. I put down a ground sheet, which is all this is a tiny tarp. It's a tent footprint. And this is where me and Gunner are going to hang out. This is where I'm going to cook my food. This is where I'm going to eat, listen to my jams, probably get a fire going, a small one. You can do so much here. I even brought my air mattress to put out here so I can lay down out here. And then I will use the tent to basically use the stove when it gets cold and when we crawl in for the night to ensure if I had Maddie with me, or in this case Gunner, where he can't get out of the mesh inner, or if I zipped up just the shell and I had the inner out, we would be able to stay in there. I can probably stay asleep without worrying about the dogs trying to leave. But for the most part, you guys, camp is set. This is going to be the place of establishment. I can hear people yonder over here. I did see a mountain biker on the trail over there. So the bush today is fairly popular. So we're probably going to run into some people, but that's okay. I'm thinking it's going to die out towards the evening. But for now, I got about 2 o'clock. I am kind of hungry. We probably can get a small fire going. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a bushcraft stove to see if I can boil enough water, because I did bring a dehydrated meal with me just for lunch. So we're going to see if we can get that going. But first, we're going to try this drone out, and we're going to see if we can get some footage of the bush. Enjoy. All right, YouTube, we hope that you enjoyed some of that drone footage. It's something that new that we got that we're going to be playing around with. We're still kind of learning how to operate it without wrecking it, of course. But it kind of gives you the layout of the land. You know, I've seen a lot of other YouTubers exercise a drone in their video. So that's what we're hoping to do. Good times to come. The only bad thing about operating the drone is that battery dies quick. So luckily for me, we got some power banks with us, which is yet a whole new world in itself, because I'm so used to just packing what I need. Now I got to pack cameras and power banks and all sorts of electronics. So we're getting there. I'm starving. We're going to go ahead and try to use that bushcraft stove to get some fire going, a small fire, and we're going to try to boil some water just so we can get that dehydrated meal cooked up and we're going to eat. Stay with us. We're lit underneath. I don't want to burn through all my fat wood, but pros and cons to this would be you can probably get this to boil pretty quick. The bad thing is you really have to stay on top of it when feeding it because you're burning such small pieces of wood that you can't really just light it and forget it and walk away. Another good part though is you can see in there we are really starting to put some bubbles at the bottom, which is good because we wanted to boil. Like I said, I really wanted to try this little Pathfinder stove out just to see what it has. It's stainless steel, so it really shouldn't burn and warp and bend. But we will see. We will definitely see. It's definitely getting a lot of that soot on there, and that's all wipeable. We want to be able to boil water. So stick with us, and we'll find out what she does. Alright, so we ended up ditching the stove because I kept throwing wood in there and it kept getting so congested it really couldn't breathe. I was probably using it wrong. But instead we did it this way. I just put my little pot here, and as you can see, we got ourselves a boil because I just surrounded it with fire. And then I have my fire retardant glove, in which I'm going to grab and just put inside the bag of food. So that's what I'm going to do now. Hang with us. This was kind of fun. Alright, YouTube, moment of truth. You had to improvise a little bit. Those type of stainless steel stoves do work. I'm sure that one would work, especially if you wanted a low C or something. But when you're boiling water, you need a super steady, super hot heat, and I think that was the issue. I would get it real hot and then it would die out. I would get it real hot and then it would die out. I just don't think I kept it hot enough. But nonetheless, improvised. And the whole purpose of that though was more of a, if you don't, obviously you guys know I have the jet boil. I could have boiled water in less than 90 seconds. But if you're in a pinch, you don't want to pack fuel and the jet boil. Because I actually stopped packing it just because I rather cook real food. So that being said, I got the carbon steel pan over here. That's what I started using. Not that the jet boil is not good, it's amazing. But this is where the jet boil would shine, right? So, once again, Backpacker's Pantry, chicken Alfredo, fettuccine Alfredo with chicken, I'm sorry. I haven't had this one before, but burn all of our trash, that's for sure. Let's give this a taste, see if it's any good. Another new, I won't say it's new, I've used it before, I just never mentioned it, but something that I brought this time is a little plastic plate. Just so I can enjoy my food a little more. As usual, you guys have probably seen me pack my little cake pan. Does the job, it's lightweight, but it is very confined, especially when cutting meat. So I started packing a little plate instead. I can wash this with my little sanitizing wipe, put it back into my little crate here, and this crate is a makeshift table. Alright, you guys, we're camping in the bush. We're excited to be here. Fettuccine Alfredo, Backpacker's Pantry. It's no Olive Garden. It's no Mamma Mia's basic Italian. But knowing this came out of a plastic bag and the water was boiled in a stainless steel container with small sticks, this would hit the spot if you were through hiking or backpacking. That's really good. Alright. I can just see a little bit of the stuff that didn't break down. As usual, you get this type of stuff that happens. That's why you really got to stir it well. But nonetheless, you guys, I'm going to enjoy this. Call this a late lunch. I just charged the drone with one of the power packs because it was already at 30%. We'll play with it a little more. By that time, we'll get a fire going. We'll see where we're at with dinner. We might have a late dinner tonight because I did bring a steak and the carbon steel. We'll get a fire going. And as usual, we'll start cracking some beers, man. I also bought a bottle of mead because tonight we're going to do a blow to Mother Yord. She always provides for us. She always takes care of us, and she always shows us the true meaning of wilderness and nature. And hail to Scotty. She's going to be gentle tonight. It's only supposed to get down to about 31 degrees. Stick with us. Okay, so we're starting to lose a little bit of sun. We're going to get the fire going so we can get that steak cooked. I am hungry. I can always eat a good steak, but I'm not starving. So we're going to cook the steak while we have some light. Might as well get the fire going. And we do see that the wind is picking up a little bit. I just checked weather. We are expecting heavier winds coming north-northeast. So we're going to put the fire down from us. We should be okay putting it that way. I already got the air mattress pumped up. Mookie's getting comfortable. We're going to get this fire going, cook some steak. All right, YouTube, We are back. Steak is done. All right, you know what goes good with the steak? Ice cold refreshment. That's right, Capital Rockies. Let's open this ice cold banquet right here. This is what mountain men ate. This is what the ancestors ate. Odin doesn't want you to know this, but the ancestors definitely enjoyed cold beer. This is how you know they're friendly. You listen for that sound right there. Alright, YouTube. Dinner time. Dinner time in the bush. Let's get this steak cut. Oh my goodness, look at that. She's tender. You can't really see the pink, I bet. That's only because the plate. But trust me, she's all pink right there. Give her a taste. Mmm. Delicious. This is what they don't want you to know. I can taste the grains of sand in it because I dropped it in the dirt. Mmm. Making a little dirt hurt, you know? Alright, YouTube. You know the routine. We're going to eat this, drink this, clean up a little bit. Fires are rumbling. We'll get some music going, and we'll start the evening festivities. Hang in there. Alright, YouTube. I'm not quite sure if you can hear the wind. We'll see how good these microphones work. But I guarantee you can see the wind. And this is what we're working with right now. God, it's crazy right now. I know what you're thinking. Nick, you shouldn't be putting wood on the fire. It's crazy out there. But I want y'all to be able to see me. So if you get some of this wind, I apologize. But it is it's pretty gnarly out here. Scotty is she's showing no mercy right now. But I really wanted to do this bloat. So we're gonna do a pretty quick bloat here. Bought a bottle of Thorns mead tonight. It's probably some of the best commercial mead that I buy. I buy this all the time for my Kindred events. We like it. It's doable. Some of the other meads are either too expensive, or even though they're pricey, they're just not good. I'm a big man, especially since I've been buying mead, and then on top of that, now I've been making my own mead. I'm a big man on making your own mead now. That's the best mead you're gonna get. The alcohol's stronger, the alcohol's cleaner, and you get to mess with the spices and all. That means you get to flavor it how you want to flavor it. Tonight's bloat, just simple. I created the NFK in the late summer of 2022. So that means this come Yuletide in 2025, that's going to mark my 4th year. 4th Yuletide event. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see my kin. You guys don't understand. I am a better lover, a better person, a better brother. I'm better in my personal life. I'm better in my professional life. I'm a better dog father. I'm a better partner. I'm a better partner in crime. I'm better in every aspect of my life because of my faith and because of my kindred. A nice cold glass of mead. And I want to say, hail to the gods and the goddesses. Hail to the Landviti and the Disir. Ard the Nisa, hail our Regan. Please join us at this time for a beautiful bloat by this windy fire. Hail Odin, thank you for calling me home. Thank you for showing me the path to the old ways. Simplicity, happiness, peace, and most of all, purpose. Hail to the Nine Faith Kindred Fellowship of Texas and all the brothers and sisters that have either came and gone or still here. It's a learning path, and I couldn't help but look back on everything that I've been through and my kindred has been through. Survival, strengthening and bondship, brotherhood, sisterhood, motherhood, fatherhood, all of it. Hail to Odin, hail to Mother Yor, always welcome us out here. Hail to Scotty. You're being harsh tonight, my sister. Don't blow us away. The wild hunt is near, and I do not wish to be swept away at this time. Hail to the people that matter and make it worth it every day. Oh yeah, that's good. That's good mead. That's really good. To the Lavatia, to the Decia, to the Nisa, Reagan. Bless this beautiful mead and take your share. Ask for Scotty to tide it down a little bit so we can enjoy this beautiful fire. Or we're going to be stuck in the Coco Nest doing YouTube in silence. All right, YouTube. I'm not sure if you can hear me or if you can hear me well. I don't have the microphone on. The wind is really powerful right now, as usual. It's pretty nasty out here, but I did want to kind of show you that we do have the stove going. And it's nice and toasty in here. So as of right now, typical hot tent style, while the stove is going, the tent is hot. It's warm, legit. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be typical hot tent. As soon as the stove goes out, temperature is going to drop. It's going to get cold. So I have a lot of wood chopped up in the back. We're ready for the night. Because of the wind, we're tucked in. We got the lantern, we got Odin, we got Yor, we got the banquet on deck. Gunner's already passed out. Him CP. But YouTube, I think we will see you in the morning and give you the update on the One Tigris Coco Nest. As of now, really good hot tent. I'm really digging this half and half. Half inner, half outer, no floor. You're out here with your freaking stove. You're hanging out. By the way, I'm in the One Tigris camping chair, sitting down inside of the Coco Nest. Not sure if you can make that out or not, but I'm sitting down right now. So there's enough room for you to kind of chillax in here, away from what we call the bedroom, right? Where you're going to crawl into sleep. So I guess that's a plus. But YouTube, we will see you in the morning. Have a good night. Well, good morning, YouTube. We survived. Not only did we survive, but we're alive. I tell you, not only was it windy all night last night, but it got down to about 25 degrees. Gunner's water is absolutely frozen. There was like a sandstorm that came through. Not really. Just because the wind, all the sand got kicked up. There's so much sand in the tent. There's sand all over the electronics. It's crazy. Sand everywhere. But we made it in the One Tigris Coco Nest. It's a good tent. It held up against the wind. It produced the shield enough when we were able to crawl in and enjoy the night because of the high winds. As usual, the stove produced. I'm still flickering with that stove a little bit. I notice it runs better when I actually process the wood smaller. When I first was using it, I was putting in 14-inch by 3.5-inch logs, and I noticed that it wouldn't stay hot, and sometimes it would actually go out. But if I had more time and if I processed more wood, I basically would cut that in half, 7 inches to about 1.5 inches to 1 inch thick, and then throw in there, and it burned like a champ, dude. So just note to self, smaller pieces of wood for processing, and that stove does its job. As for our shelter here, it survived the night too, but I heard this flapping in the wind all night. Gunner's done. It's so cold out here right now, so we're gonna pack this up, and I'll check in with you guys when we get back to the car. All right, YouTube, I hope you can hear me well. I don't have the microphone on right now, and it is windy, but this is gonna wrap up volume 5 Heathen Outdoors. We so glad that you joined us today. Hopefully you stayed for the entire video, because it was quite an adventure. But it is cold, it's windy, it burns, it's like ice, it's icy. We need to get out of here and get warm. Thank you for joining us. One Tigris Coco Nest is a win. I think it's a really, really great tent if you have the time to set it up, because it does take a quick moment to set up and tear down. But once it's up, it is solid. It is a nice tent. Plenty of room with that removable inside net tent, the inner. You can pull that out and create some serious space in there. I don't think it's one hot tent to rule all, so I think given your circumstances, You can choose between like a teepee style tent like I have or the Coco Nest, and just have fun with it, you guys. As long as you guys have a stove, you guys are going to stay warm. It's going to be good. We're closing out today. Beautiful morning here. It is cold. Y'all stay heathen.